The neon sign outside the diner buzzed faintly, casting a pinkish glow over the cracked asphalt of Route 66, just outside Flagstaff, Arizona. Inside, the air was thick with the smell of burnt coffee, greasy bacon, and the faint metallic tang of motorcycle exhaust that clung to leather. The place was called Moe's All Night Eats, a relic from the 50s with chrome stools, yellow vinyl booths, and a jukebox that hadn't worked since Clinton was in office. It was 2:17 a.m. on a Thursday in late October, and the desert wind rattled the windows like it had somewhere better to be. At the counter, Carla, 29, ponytail high, pink uniform starched within an inch of its life, poured coffee for a trucker who hadn't looked up from his phone in 20 minutes. She moved with the practiced efficiency of someone who'd been slinging hash since she was 16. Her name tag read, Carla M., in faded red script. She didn't smile unless she had to. Smiling cost extra. In the corner booth, under the flickering fluorescent light, sat Dutch. Real name, Daniel James McAllister. Age, 53. Beard, full, gray, braided at the chin with a silver bead. Vest, black leather, patched with the colors of the Road Devils MC, President, Arizona Charter. His knuckles were scarred, his eyes were older than his face, and right now, they were fixed on the waitress leaning in close. Too close. Carla had the coffee pot in one hand, the other braced on the table as she whispered something into Dutch's ear. Her lips barely moved. His didn't either. But whatever she said made the vein in his temple twitch. The guy across from him, Rico, sergeant at arms, buzzcut, neck tattoos crawling up to his jaw, leaned forward, elbows on the table, watching the door like a dog that smelled trouble. The arrow in the photo pointed to Rico. But the real story wasn't in the arrow. It was in the silence that followed Carla's whisper. Dutch didn't blink. He reached up slowly, took the coffee pot from her hand, and set it on the table without breaking eye contact. Then he spoke, low enough that only Carla and Rico could hear. You sure? Carla nodded once. Her eyes flicked to the window, then back to Dutch. Black SUV. Tinted. Been circling the block since midnight. Same one from Tucson. Rico cracked his neck. Feds. Or worse, Carla said. She straightened up, wiped her hands on her apron like nothing happened. Table 3 wants more hash browns. Dutch exhaled through his nose. The Road Devils had been clean for 18 months. No runs, no guns, no dust. Just bikes, barbecues, and the occasional charity ride for sick kids. But clean didn't mean forgotten. And forgotten didn't mean safe. He slid out of the booth, boots heavy on the checkered floor. The other two patched members at the next table, Haas and T-Bone, looked up. Haas had a face like a brick wall and a voice like gravel. T-Bone was younger, twitchy, still proving himself. Both wore the same vest. Both knew the look on Dutch's face. Mount up, Dutch said. No volume. No drama. Just the words. Rico was already standing. We ride out the front. No. Dutch glanced at Carla. Back door. Through the kitchen. Carla didn't ask questions. She'd been around long enough to know the drill. Her brother had prospected with the Devils before he wrapped his Sportster around a guardrail outside Phoenix. She'd been pouring coffee for the club ever since, part loyalty, part penance, part survival. She led them past the grill where Mo, 78, apron stained with 30 years of grease, flipped a burger without looking up. The cook didn't ask. He never did. The back door opened onto an alley lit by a single buzzing bulb. 3 Harleys sat in a row, chained to a rusted pipe. Dutch's was the black knucklehead with ape hangers and a dent in the tank from a bar fight in Reno. Rico's was the matte gray Dyna with a cracked taillight. Haas rode a chopped shovelhead that sounded like God clearing his throat. Dutch straddled his bike, keyed the ignition. The engine coughed, then roared. He didn't look back at the diner. Didn't need to. Carla would lock up, tell the trucker the bikers left out the front, and if anyone asked, she'd never seen them. Rico pulled up beside him. Where to? Old Mill Road. Cut through the res. Lose 'em in the canyons. Haas grunted. And if they follow? Dutch pulled a .38 from inside his vest, checked the cylinder, tucked it back. Then we stopped being polite. They rolled out slow, no headlights, just the glow of the moon on red rock and the low rumble of straight pipes. The alley spit them onto a service road behind the diner, then onto packed dirt that wound north toward the reservation. The air was cold, sharp with pine and dust. Dutch rode point, Rico on his left, Haas and T-Bone staggered behind. 10 minutes in, Rico's voice crackled over the Bluetooth in Dutch's helmet. Lights. Half-mile back. Dutch didn't turn. How many? 2. SUVs. Black. ATF. Our cartel. Same difference. Dutch throttled down, let the bike coast. The road narrowed, flanked by juniper and sandstone. He knew this stretch, blind curves, drop-offs, places where a man could disappear if he knew the land. And Dutch knew the land. He signaled. The 4 bikes peeled left onto a dirt track barely wide enough for a horse. The knucklehead bucked over rocks, but Dutch held the line. Behind them, the SUVs tried to follow, tires spinning in sand. One fishtail Ed, clipped a boulder, kept coming. Rico laughed, short, sharp. They're committed. Let 'em commit, Dutch said. We're ghosts. They hit a dry wash, dropped into it, engine snarling. The SUVs couldn't follow, too wide, too low. Headlights swept the ridge above, searching. Then faded. Dutch killed his engine. The others followed. Silence rushed in, broken only by the tick of cooling metal and the distant howl of a coyote. Haas spoke first. We go back. No, Dutch said. We go forward. Through the res, hit 89 at Cameron. Double back at dawn. See who's still sniffing. T-Bone shifted on his bike. What about Carla? Dutch stared into the dark. She's got a .380 in her apron and Mo's got a shotgun under the counter. She'll be fine. Rico lit a cigarette, the flare briefly lighting his face. You trust her? Dutch didn't answer right away. He thought about the way Carla's hand had trembled, just for a second, when she leaned in to whisper. Fear or guilt, hard to tell. But she'd warned them. That counted. I trust her more than I trust the feds, he said finally. And less than I trust you. Rico grinned around the cigarette. Fair. They waited another 20 minutes. No lights. No engines. Just desert and stars and the smell of creosote. Dutch fired up the knucklehead again. Let's ride. They moved slow, no lights, following the wash until it spilled onto a gravel road. From there, it was 20 miles of reservation backroads, unmarked, unpaved, unforgiving. Dutch rode like a man who'd grown up on these roads, who'd buried friends in them, who'd outrun worse than SUVs. At 4:42 a.m., they hit the outskirts of Cameron. The trading post was closed, the gas station dark. Dutch pulled into the shadow of a cottonwood, killed the engine. He pulled out a burner phone, dialed a number from memory. 2 rings. Then, yeah, it's me, Dutch said. We're clear. For now. A pause. Then Carla's voice, low and steady. They came in. 2 guys. Suits. Badges. Asked about you. I said you paid cash and left. You good? I'm good. Mo's cleaning the grill. Trucker's gone. Place is empty. Dutch closed his eyes. You see their faces. One had a scar. Left cheek. Looked like a knife. Other one had a limp. ATF. Erdia. Hard to tell. They didn't drink the coffee. Dutch almost smiled. Lock up. Go home. Don't open tomorrow. Already called in sick. He hung up. Rico was watching him. We lay low. Dutch nodded. Clubhouse is burned. We hole up at the ranch. Regroup. Figure out who's got a hard-on for us. Haas cracked his knuckles. Could be the Mexicans. We cut 'em out last year. Could be the feds. We cut 'em out last year too. T-Bone spoke up, voice quiet. What if it's internal? The other 3 turned, looked at him. Dutch's voice was flat. Say that again. T-Bone swallowed. I'm just saying. Someone knew we'd be at Mo's. Someone knew the route. Carla's solid, but Rico moved fast, had T-Bone by the collar before Dutch could blink. You prospectin' or prosecutin', kid? Dutch raised a hand. Rico let go. T-Bone's right, Dutch said. We don't trust anyone. Not tonight. He looked at the sky, still dark, but the edge of dawn was creeping in, pale and cold. We ride to the ranch. No stops. No calls. We get there, we lock it down. Then we find out who sold us. He kicked the knucklehead to life. The others followed. 4 bikes, 1 road, no headlights. Behind them, the desert swallowed the sound. Ahead, the ranch waited, 60 acres of scrub and silence, a barn with a false floor, and a safe full of cash and questions. Dutch didn't look back. He never did.